There we go. 1 minute timer. That's long, isn't it? Sometimes people tell me that's long, man. 1 minute intro. Yeah, I need the minutes to collect myself and to get into it. Usually, I'm pretty nervous, so then I can take 1 minute to calm down. And when we start, I'm set. So, welcome everyone to another episode of A Drink with Brink, where I talk with other indie comic book creators about their books and their lives and their campaigns, because people often invite me to their shows and channels and give me their time. And I want to do something in return for this awesome community. Okay, so I brought my cup. Look at this. I have a new Jamon Comics cup because it's a drink with Brink, and I got this for my birthday. Look, that's pretty cool. So anyway, and I was planning to do some work today. Things is pretty busy every day, basically, since I launched my own website. So I have the web store now at jamoncomics.com. You can visit that and you can purchase my books. And so every day is work day. But today I'm a little bit under the weather. I think I'm a little bit tired, so I decided it's a slow day. So I worked a little bit this morning, and right now I'm excited for this interview with Joe Catapano. But before we bring him on, let's say hello to you guys. So, Chris Fisk. Hey, welcome, Chris Fisk. First, you are first, and also the first time you're here, I think. Edith second. Edith is second. Welcome. Area Blackness, yeah. I'm here. You know what to do, Dave. Yeah, I already did it. I'm always ahead of you, man. But don't bail out, man. I'm keeping my eye on you, Area. Just sneaking in there at the beginning, and then I do my thing, and you're gone. No, it doesn't work like that. Bristolian Dave. All right, me bearers. Welcome, Dave. Always cool to see Dave. Dr. Ino. Hey, Dr. Ino. Welcome, Doctor. Doctor in the house. Void Rider. That's a new name for me. Void Rider. Welcome, Void Rider. And of course, Joe Catapano. Welcoming everyone. And one of the people who's always here, 58 Underground. Welcome, 58 Underground. Always good to see you, man. Okay. So I wanted to do this drink with Brink with Joe for a little while now, but we couldn't make it work time-wise. So I'm really happy that it could happen today. So let's just bring him on, the man of the hour. Here is Joe Catapano.
Good. I feel like I need to bow after that. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah.
I'm here.
That's what they like, man. So welcome, Joe.
Hey, good to see you, man. It's like you're right. It's been a while since we first talked about coming on and doing a show. But yeah, I'm glad we were able to finally do it.
Yeah, excellent. Because you are a busy man also.
Yeah, right now I'm in the thick of it, trying to get the books for Star Circuit out, which we'll talk about later. But yeah, I'm in the thick of it right now.
Yeah. Oh, wait. I have this sticker. Show ticker. Ooh. Look
nice.
At this. It's all professional, man.
Dude, I really like how you combined the purple with the live at the bottom there. It's really nice.
Thank you. Yeah, it's the color of the brand. You see this everywhere on
the
covers.
Your brand is on point.
Sorry?
Your brand is on point. I really like it.
It
nice
needs
purple.
to be. It needs to
that
be.
Genuine purple.
Yeah, there was this time that I was thinking, should I change the name of my brand, my company, Genuine Comics? I was like, I thought about this when I was a teenager, and it was the only cool English word that I knew. So,
That's funny.
But nowadays it's basically settled. So
Cool.
It's
I really like it. Actually, I was going to bring it up. My company name is Vera Via, and it's Latin, and it's similar to genuine. It means the true path. It's the real path is what it means in Latin. So it's
Vera
almost like
Via.
it's the
Right.
same. It's the same. It's come. I brought it from racing. So since Star Circuit's a lot about racing, my company name I wanted to be something like that. So this Latin term, it really just describes the racing line, the perfect line around the racetrack.
All
Um,
right.
but
Yeah.
it's got a double meaning. But I just thought it was cool that we both have this genuine kind of name.
Yeah, we're both authentic, man.
Yeah. How's
Hey,
my audio, by the way? I haven't checked it because I was so busy fulfilling.
it's good. It's good, man.
Good. Okay.
I can hear you good. Um, Area Blackness says Joe is a cool dude. I want to know how fulfillment is going. Well,
What's up, Arya? And what's up to the whole chat? There's a lot of people that I know and have supported the book, and yeah, fulfillment's going great. We're pushing out the essential tier, which is the featured tier. I'm sure we'll get to, but a lot of those backers are going out on Monday. So,
wow, excellent. Busy times. And Marvin Wynn is also here. Hey, Dave. Hey, Joe. Welcome, Marvin.
hey, Marvin.
Okay, okay, man. So um, what I usually do is the first half hour we talk about you. Basically, this is your hour, and we want to know who is Joe Catapano. So because you've been working in the creative industries for many years, right?
It's
So
been a while now.
can you
Yeah.
tell a bit about that?
Yeah, for sure. I can give a little bit of history. Way back, as far as I can remember, I've been kind of creative, but never really found an outlet for it. I always just like did random things, like made music. Like my family's really creative, so I was always like just doing weird stuff around the house. So I really didn't draw as a child, but when I went to college is when I first figured out I could draw. I went for CG animation, so it's not really a. I don't know if you know about CG animation, Dave, but it's like doesn't really mean you're naturally
Computer
talented with like
graphics,
drawing. Yeah, it's computer graphics, so they call those people technical artists.
right?
So yeah, something technical is it's more like you move around sliders and vertexes on the computer and you make something cool out of 3D geometry, and that's kind of what that field is about.
Hmm.
But it's not fine art. It's not like having to know anatomy as much. And
So it's
anyway,
more the technical aspect.
right, it's more technical. And
Hmm.
however, when you go through that schooling, I went to Full Sail here in Orlando, and I'm in Florida. And when I went through the program, they have one class that's just figure drawing. So that's when I first figured out, like, oh, I'm better than a lot of the people in the class. And which is not saying much because they didn't go to it's not an art school or something. Um,
Right.
but I did figure out I had some sort of knack to it, and I liked it a lot. And from there, I taught myself how to draw. I didn't go back to school for it or anything. I just taught myself how to draw, and I really liked comics up to that point, but didn't have a lot of exposure to like just reading a lot of them because of my family kind of like for some reason didn't have any in the house, and they're kind of like fundamentalist as far as like not having, I guess, scantily clad like women comics in the house. I don't know what the deal that is, but that's my
Okay, it was
history as far
a
as
bit sensitive there.
yeah. Yeah, I think you get it. I think some like families are just. I feel like I was reading like really mature books and like watching sometimes like mature shows and stuff, but for when it came to comics, I guess like they were really on point about, I guess, gatekeeping out the good stuff. So
Yeah, yeah,
you know.
yeah. I've been to Florida once, by the way. You live there?
Oh yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah,
I live in Orlando for 10 years now.
yeah, yeah. Okay, cool. Yeah, I've been there once. I won this. What it was? It was some sort of raffle for a video store
Okay.
for the young people. Usually, back in the day, we needed to rent movies from the store, so we went to the video store,
I
and they had
remember.
this raffle, and you could win a trip to Universal Studios.
Oh really? Cool.
Yeah, right. So I won. So it was really weird. So there was one weekend
Interesting,
there. Yeah, that was great.
dude. So you got to go to Universal as well. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, yeah, for one day, and the next day was we went to this mall, this giant mall.
Yeah, they
Jesus, that was
they call it the
you.
outlet malls over here. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. Okay. Anyway,
very popular.
so you did. So you studied the technical aspect uh, of computer
CG.
graphics, right? So
Yeah.
did you do something with that later on?
I do. Actually, my day job is in DoD contracting, so I do graphics for military stuff like vehicles and things like that. So I do get to use it. It pays the bills, and
Right.
hopefully the goal is to phase that out and do comics and storyboards, all the time, just story stuff. Um, so besides that, I'm doing, like I said, some storyboard stuff on the side. Whatever artistic jobs I can take, I do. And
Mhm.
so I do get to use my degree a little bit. It's like it pays the bills, and it got me the job that pays the bills. So that's
Right,
good.
right, right. Darkside is Comics is here. Welcome,
Hail,
Darkside.
Dark Side. Yeah,
And 24 Eyes.
cool. Glad you're here,
Um,
dude.
and he only has 5 owls. That's like 10 eyes. And
He's short,
okay,
but yeah.
okay. Welcome, welcome.
Mm.
Yeah. So, is Star Circuit your first comic book, or did you produce books before this one?
That's a tricky one because of what you call books. I feel like there's a line there. I made small little things like pamphlet looking things, really really early on, but they never really went out to anybody. They were kind of for me. But I did do some contests, and before I try to do my own book, I just really am into the art. The art drew me in at first because I'm an artist before anything else,
Hmm.
and so I pretty much made a bunch of samples trying to get the big two and some of the smaller publishers to check me out and maybe get some work. And it really didn't fall through. I got some good interviews and good connections. I got a mentor. Things happened, but not the job. So
Right,
it's
right.
it's a far fetched kind of the risk is it's a high risk high reward kind of thing. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I gotta say, man, I've seen your art.
Mm.
People know your art. It looks amazing. And
Thank you.
then you tell me that you're basically self-taught.
Yeah.
That's really cool, man. That's
It's just my flow, though. Like some
yeah.
people do better in certain environments. I think I just do well solo.
Yeah. So
You know.
did you have do you have examples? Do you have favorite artists that you try to emulate
Oh
or
yeah. It's odd because a lot of the people I like have come to Comicsgate. The Comicsgate community has got like a lot of the artists I like, namely, like I really liked Green Lantern, so I was following Ethan for a long time,
Hmm.
way before I knew about CG. But what happened after that was like other guys that I really like Shane Davis and Rocaford, both are in this environment.
Yeah.
And interesting, and like they were also just big influences. So the other guys are guys that most people like. I like Jim Lee's Simplicity. I like you know
Simplicity.
yeah,
You think
Simplicity.
you think it's simple or
As far as
just
detail goes, like he's
right.
out of the '90s kind of image guys. I feel like he's the simplest of forms. Like he puts in a lot of hatch marks, but
Hmm.
comparing him to Todd or Silvestri, like he's more simple than them, I would say.
Okay.
And their forms, the human figure is like more streamlined. He makes them kind of more. He's like he's like the American version of Joe Mad. Joe Mad is another one I really like, but
Right.
Joe Mad has this you know kind of Eastern influence, and but they're both similar in the way that their forms are really like simplified, and they find their own path. A lot of people don't like Jim Lee for that reason. Like maybe he's oversimplified or maybe overselling out. But I think he found like there's a reason why people love his work. So
Yeah, yeah. Some people
you know,
just find their their style and it's
yeah,
just perfect to me.
hmm,
This style, Jim Lee's style, just perfect to me, right?
yeah,
Like Sylvester's style also it's just different. And
just
John Byrne, one of
right.
my favorites.
Hmm.
These are are such
For sure.
recognizable styles.
It's hard not to like Jim Lee without liking Byrne or the other way around because like they influenced, well, Jim Lee pulled from Byrne, so
Yeah,
the influence is there.
right.
But yeah, I like tons of artists, Capullo even, you know, but the ones that influenced me the most, I feel like, are not comic artists. And I mentioned this in my Star Circuit side book, but Sid Mead, who was the designer for Blade Runner and a lot of things, like he's like the futurist that died a few years ago, but he was like the key industrial designer for a lot of things and designed Gundams, designed the Tron bikes, designed Blade Runner, designed tons of things, but he is one of my biggest influences,
Right.
and he's not a comic artist, you know.
No. But it's not just the style. When you look at your book, you kind of
Hmm.
like these cyberpunk esque
Yeah.
settings, right? Yeah,
It's weird. I don't like putting myself in a box, and I don't know. I have like I'm kind of oblivious to some of the things I personally like. I don't see the connection sometimes. Dark Side's a big fan too. Nice.
yeah,
But if you really look at it over the years, my biggest influences are coming from things like sci-fi and cyberpunk. I only after I make stuff do I realize that, oh, this is really like Akira, or this is real like when I think about it, all my favorite superheroes are from sci-fi environments, or you know, you're
yeah,
like, oh,
right.
I didn't make the connection until you know I put it on paper. So, yeah,
Yeah, you have
some
to
nice.
discover what you like. You can't really pick it. It's just something you like it or you don't like it, and when you evolve your own style, it
Right,
just gets affected by the things you love. You're right.
for sure.
I also see some Eastern influences in your style, for instance. Right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
I it's there. You know, something is plain as day. I think I grew up in the time right when kind of anime was getting somewhat popular in America
Yep.
because it was just hard to get before that. You know, before the '90s, you
Hmm.
really had to go out of your way and import and you know find these niche kind of stores that had stuff, and then you'd have to watch it subbed. But when I grew up, things were getting dubbed in English, and it was just easy to fall in love with, you know, the things young guys really like to watch, like Dragon Ball Z and you know these young shonen shows that came to
Right.
America,
Right.
and so that's really what triggered me. I didn't really read much manga. I was really
No.
watching a lot of anime, so that's why my style looks more like anime than manga. You
Yeah.
know, that's it's
Yeah,
clear. I think.
it's very kinetic what you draw. But it kind of has to be because you made this comic about racing, so it has to be moving. It has to keep moving. Um,
Yeah.
and with manga style, you see all those speed lines and dynamic shots. So yeah,
Something about how anime works and just cartoons in general, the really good cartoons, they have simple shadows and simple forms. And like we talked about Jim Lee, it's the same thing. So
hmm
it's easily read. So people can see the image, instantly get what it's about. And then for some reason, with that really saturated color on top of it, it's just appealing, you know? Excuse me.
it's a drink with Brink, man. So go ahead.
Yep. So yeah, but that's you pinpointed it, and you're right. It's got this energy that's there that I didn't realize was going to be there until I started creating a lot, and
Right.
yeah.
So the so your style came from those influences, but the story. So where did that originate?
Okay,
The
so
concept for
So
this
Star
for this book.
Circuit is very much it's a science fiction cyberpunk world that's really grounded in relatable things. So there's kind of like a split there. The story came from both things I really liked, like Akira and F Zero when I was playing SNES as a kid, you know,
Hmm.
Nintendo,
Right.
and
Right. Yeah.
things like
Yeah.
that. My imagination combined with those elements, like created Star Circuit. It's something like, oh, I wish there's nothing out there besides like Red Line and some other few racing things, Speed Racer, that really focus on the racing entirely. And to me, that was a really cool angle. Not, I saw there was like a little void in the market or whatever you want to call it, you know, that it just wasn't being produced. So I saw that intrigued me, and then like I said, it's also grounded. So I'm pulling from everything as a writer. You pull from what you know, and also I'm not like I'm way more experienced as an artist than a writer. So for
Right.
writing specifically, I have to draw from what I know. I'm sure like it makes it very more visceral for you. You kind of find the words easier.
Right. Yeah, this is true. Yeah.
Yeah.
We were
So
talking last
yeah.
Friday in the stream I was on, and we were talking about genres, and there are certain genres that I can't write because I have no affinity with it or no understanding. I can't write hospital dramas, for instance. It's
Oh
too much
right. I feel like
research.
that's a hard one. Yeah.
Yeah, or war themed stuff. That's difficult, man, for me. But yeah,
And I'm
yeah,
sure
man.
that's the same. I'm sure like dude, really like I guess I could do fantasy, but I couldn't do like I can't do what my art bro, Jeremy Zate Studios does. He's got this very hard, deep lore, kind of like fiendish. I couldn't do some like it's like so deep that I just don't have that brain for maybe, history upon history upon history of legends
Right.
and languages. But I could do a simple fantasy. I like fantasy. I like that stuff, medieval stuff, and I could do that. But you're right. There's genres that instantly I don't think about that I would
Yeah,
struggle with.
but your book Star Circuit is basically science fiction. I
Yeah,
think you can describe it.
it's like a science fiction. There's elements of fantasy there, just from a couple different reasons. Just the archetypes I'm using. Some would say it's more fantasy based, and it's kind of like this adventure. So it seems a little bit more of the a tale on the road, as they would say, which kind of is like a pun, but yeah, exactly. It's a cyberpunk science fiction fantasy, we'll say.
Right. So this the writing part, right? So you learned how to draw, but then you had to write it because it was your story. You had to put it on paper. So was that challenging for you?
The hardest part by far.
Okay.
Like writing is no joke the hardest thing. It's like if you don't have the even concept designers and even artists, like if they don't have the concept or the purpose for the drawing, there's no substance. You'll just end up with like a pretty picture that it might get likes on Instagram, but it's not going to go farther than that. But yeah, figuring out that is hard and putting it into a structure. I had to study. It took me like a year and a half, maybe 2 years to write Star Circuit because I didn't know how to write really well, and I took like 6 to 8 months just to read the right books, find my missing links of what I didn't really know about. Mostly
Do you work
structure,
with
mostly yeah.
Do you work with editors?
At the time, I was going through friends and friends that actually have some writing background. So I'd hand them, but not an official editor. Not until they finished the script, I got an editor for the book. But yeah, as I was writing, there wasn't really an official guy. One guy, like I would bounce ideas off of Jeremy, off of other friends that I have that like have some writing background, and my girlfriend too, obviously.
All right. Oh, your girlfriend writes also.
Well, she's just a creative person, so
Right.
she's always like not necessarily obviously she's into different things, so she'll point out like if things are not. She's the first one to tell me it's not making sense to her, but in my head it's actually connecting, and so I need to bridge that gap sometimes.
Right. So with you, this started with the visual idea. So you knew what you wanted to draw, basically, and you had to produce the story from that.
Yeah, at this very small concept, I knew what I wanted to see, and I write my stories. I don't know how you write, but I'm a big fan of Brian McDonald, and he's a proponent of writing from theme. So I think it's like this perfect solution to figuring out what's needed and what's not needed in a story. It's almost
Right.
like this. It's like this variable in an equation, the minute you plug it in, it'll tell you like if you're writing a scene that doesn't matter, or if it's just filler, it just tells you. So that's how I started. Once I realized that was the missing link for me, that's how I wrote the rest of my drafts. So my first draft, maybe I went with something like the theme was something not what it is now. What now the theme? The theme is for Star Circuit. In the grand scheme of things, does trying hard, does trying difficult things really matter? Like, does it matter that you actually tried anything hard,
Right.
or pass up on that path?
So
And
that's a
so,
lesson for Marvel and DC, the mainstream comics. You have to
yeah, I think
try
so.
harder.
I think in
Yeah.
general, it's funny. It's got this meta thing to me too, because doing the book itself is hard. So in the midst of
Mhm.
doing the book, I'm answering my own questions like, oh, this is really hard. I don't know if it's really worth it. But in the story, that's the debate. Debate is, does it fulfill you, or does it end up not fulfilling you by doing these things
Right.
that are hard, or does it just bring pain? And in the grand scheme of things, having bliss is really important too.
Yeah.
So
But the answer was basically all of that. It brings
yeah,
pain, it brings misery, it
yeah,
brings sleepless nights, but it also brings joy.
yeah,
And when you have that book, it's such an achievement. You did this.
yeah.
It's fantastic.
But it's definitely harder than I think it's the hardest thing I've ever done. I put years into it. Yeah, and Void is a big supporter. Void has supported the book, and I appreciate that.
All right.
But yeah, plenty of stuff that I had to do to make the writing work. And I talked about structure and figure out the missing pieces, and that's really
Yeah.
what happened. I put together a lot of scenes. I don't know how you write, Dave, but I've went through a few different techniques. But one I like is the index card method, where an index card matches every scene that you have, and that way
Mhm.
I can kind of like comic panels, move them around, see what fits best.
Right.
And if I don't like the scene, I just simply throw out the card or put it into the archives. You know,
Yeah, it's like a puzzle basically. You have to you
yeah,
have to you have to find the story, and
hmm
some things you need to discover while you write.
yeah.
That's the
It,
fun part of writing to me, that you discover your own story. That's
yeah,
fantastic.
for sure.
Okay, man. Let's take a look
Sure.
at your campaign. Let me share the screen. Put the sound on. I think because you have this video, you want to watch the video also.
Come a little bit. Oh,
Share.
there we go. A little more light.
Okay, so let's start with the video.
Awesome.
Welcome to the future. A place where you can find anything you desire. If the burner gangs don't find you first. Where the fastest racers are artificial. And if you're human, you don't stand a chance. Star Circuit.
Woo!
Yeah,
That
it's
was
high energy.
cool, man. Amazing.
That's what I was going for. Cool above all else. Yeah.
So who made this trailer for you?
This is done by the music and the editing and everything by Ted Zagaro. He's done a
Okay.
few other trailers for some books that we know.
Well done,
But yeah, he
Ted.
had the. You know Ted?
No.
Don't know
No,
Ted.
but
Okay.
no.
Yeah, he's definitely cool. Ted Zagaro's like, if you watch all of his trailers, they all have one thing in common, and they live off the vibe. It's just like you're not gonna. They're not really story based. You get a little bit of it through words and voiceover, but
Mhm.
mostly you're getting the feeling like,
Right.
oh, is this book for me, or is this clearly not for me? Yeah.
Excellent. Get people hyped, man. Yeah, yeah. Excellent. It looked fantastic. So yeah.
Thanks. I was really happy.
Look at this, man. Yeah, this is euros. I'm from the silly
Oh
country,
yeah,
so we
yeah.
work with euros. But this is good, man.
Oh
17,000. That's
yeah.
amazing.
I'm loving it. We're picking them up every week a little bit. The stragglers, and I'm sure once the book is out there, we'll get more. But man, it's way more than I thought. Because it's my first book, so you never know. You know, a lot of people like to see that you've done a book and shipped before. So I
I
understand.
didn't do this with my first book, man. This is this is great. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm ecstatic.
So this campaign, it's now in demand. People can still support it. For how long? How long will it still be up?
It's tough because I may put it on my own site and pull it off in demand on Indiegogo, but it's also a tough call because I have to do a reprinting. We're going to run through the whole thing, all the extras that people are buying extra copies and stuff. So the main cover especially is really running out quicker than I thought. And just because of, if I don't want to do another printing, it'll be down sooner than later. But yeah, I'd say at least another few months.
Yeah. Well, you're going to have to do the second printing anyway, because probably this will have a sequel.
Oh yeah, this is the first chapter. It's chapter 1 out of I'd say about 8, depending on how I break up the pages. But
Wow.
somewhere around, it's a good chunk of a story, but one where I wanted a clear ending. I'm not a big fan of ongoing series for a couple reasons, because it's hard to make your characters go through growth. They can,
That
but
long? Yeah.
when there's big
Right.
series, it's hard to really give them a big story arc rather than these small, growth moments.
So does this story focus on one character or multiple?
It focuses on a bunch. At the very bottom of the page on Indiegogo, there's pictures if people want to see. But the focus is really on 2 brothers and their relationship with, obviously, their family and the main character's friends. So it's like a lot of the stories I like are fraternal. It's brotherly problems, brotherly, kind of like bonds that they have to make and break to survive. And I've got all brothers in my family, so I'm pulling from that, and
Right.
I'm just a big fan of that. Like, I like brothers that are completely different, and for some reason they fight and they hate each other, but sometimes it comes together at the right moment, and it's greater than the sum of both of them. So
Right. Yeah. That's great, man. You need that conflict and the family aspect. That's cool. Okay.
yeah, that's the relatable part. I think the book is really cool and you like the motorcycles, but until you start reading into that part and the family issues, that's when you kind of get hooked. You're like, oh, now I got to know what happens.
Yes, this is true, man. There's too many comics that look awesome, and when you read them, they have little substance, right?
Yeah.
So you need that. You need the looks, but also the heart. And when you can find the perfect combination, perfect story for your visuals, that's
For sure. It's odd. I was really nervous about that aspect too. I didn't really know. It's my first time really writing a whole giant, a big arc instead of like some small short story. And so I was nervous about, am I going to connect with the reader? Am I connecting now? Am I missing something? I just it just worked out when I read it, and when everybody's impressed with it, and I'm more impressed than anybody else. Like, because I didn't know. Like I said, it just came together in a way that I was nervous about. So
yeah, that's good. When you're nervous, it means that you care.
yes,
It's good, man. Hey, hello, Amanda B. Welcome to the show.
what's up, Amanda?
Awesome.
Thanks for coming.
Having Amanda B here. That's great. Okay, so Star Circuit, do you ever get bored talking about your book? Because
Never, actually, yeah.
It's been months now,
It's weird. Like, I'm prepped for it because it's. I guess maybe if I was only working on it for like a year, I might be old. But it's like almost a part of just what I do. So it's been in my mind for like 5 years, and really in my life for like 3 years. So and in the last year, it's like all I do. So
Yeah.
It's like, it's just talk. It's just another day. It's just another day.
Right,
So,
right. Let's see. It's 32 pages. Interior art. You did the coloring also, right?
Yep. I will just say I illustrated it. That way it covers both. Yep.
This is no longer.
Yeah, I should replace that for future buyers. But yeah, it's complete. It's fulfilling.
Yeah, yeah. So you said this would be about 8 issues, right? So how long do you work on one issue to produce it?
Well, it's hard to push. I tried it since the best part about this indie thing is that I don't have to necessarily keep it to standards like of issue length and stuff. But let's just say it's somewhere around 40 pages, 30 to 40 pages is one issue, one chapter. I think 8. If you do the math, it'll be it'll be up there in a few hundred pages. I think will be the end. But I don't know. For me, I wrote the whole thing as an outline and a lot of random scenes within it. But to really make it work, I gotta, like you said, live through the story myself and find it. And a lot of these issues, a lot of these chapters, I don't really know what it is yet. I just know the basis. I need to know it. I already know what it needs to be. I just don't have it fleshed out as much as I thought I would.
Okay, so you're working on issue 2 right now, the script.
Well, again, like a lot of this, Dave, I thought I was gonna be, I guess, pitching this to a publisher, and it ended up where I didn't know much about crowdfunding, and now that I know that crowdfunding is, viable and like it's the way to go. I think it's the best way to go for comics. Yep. So with that in mind, I'm going about it differently. Like seeing that a lot of these guys put out trades instead of issues. The next one I might combine 2 and 3, which is I think the plan right now. I'm cutting it off and making a double issue. It'll be 2 and 3. Yeah.
And you just said you have your own website, right?
Yeah, I've got a website, but I formed Vera Via Studios, which is the company name, afterwards. So I think I'll be getting rid of those websites and combining them into one. Just make it more focused. But you're right. There is one website right now called starcircuitcomic.com, and you can see it there.
All right, cool. So, yeah. Awesome. So, let's see what we have. This is the main cover.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of great memories doing this one. Oh, at the time, it wasn't so great because I did it over like 2.5 times. And I don't usually redo art very often, but when you do, sometimes it turns out like gold, and this one was a good example.
Okay, so Marinus, Dark Side's Comics. Marinus, are you still here? This is your favorite hairstyle, man. Marinus loves this hairstyle. But I love the color. So why do these people have these colorful hairstyles? Is that purely because of the visuals, or
it's a little bit of both?
Does it have a reason?
Yeah, I think it's hard. It's one of those things where I can't remember what came first because it was very similar. I knew I wanted it just instinctively to be vibrant, and I think in one of my my earliest color tests, I ended up putting green or blue on somebody's hair, and I liked it. And looking back, I remember some anime that had colored hair, and then from there, it being a cyberpunk book, I ended up doing an explanation of pretty much gene splicing, and it's in the future, so people can pick whatever color hair they want, regardless. Yeah. So
yeah, cool, man. It looks great, and it gives each character their own distinct personality. Also,
yeah, and you don't realize it until you're like, oh man, it's really works for. It's really cool to add that into the character design, assembly. Yeah.
Welcome, Brian Menard. Hail, Dave, James Comics, Joe Catapano. Welcome, sir.
What's up, Dojo-kun? I went through your book the other day, man. It's great.
Yeah. I got it too. The Siamese.
Nice.
Okay, then we have this cover. Look at this, man. This is fabulous.
Yeah, man, I really enjoy it too.
This
for this one,
by Kanan White. Okay.
Yeah, it's a Kanan White, and it's almost full circle for me because the colors are done by Steve Furkow, which is the first guy I learned how to do colors from. He did a DVD way back in the day, and it's how I learned in 2009 or something. So
Steve Furcow. I
Steve
once
Furcow,
met him. I once
Really?
met Steve at a convention here in the Netherlands, long
nice.
time ago when I was still very young. It's cool.
Yeah, he's out, dude. He's so chill. He's the chillest guy ever.
Yeah. I had this portfolio with my art to show him, and I was so nervous, man. He just gave me some pointers. Well, why don't you try this or this? So, yeah, cool guy. But
He's a
this
perfect
art is
example.
fantastic.
He really gets art because he does mostly now. He does a lot of concept art for games. I don't know if people know, but he moved into the game design game arena, and so he's doing concept art over there. So he's doing everything. You know, like the reason why he's a good colorist is because he could make this image without the line work, you know, and pull it off. And I think that's why he gets space. And you know, he made this image so much better than ever I thought it would, you know, be. So it's great.
Yeah, color makes so much difference, man. This is fantastic. So the story. So well, you already told a little bit about the concept. Is there more about the story that you can share?
Yeah, in a little bit of a blurb. Obviously, there's the blurb on the page there, but the basics are we're in a future where technology's progressed to a certain point where it's surpassed humans in a lot of ways, and this has happened in everything. So in the labor market, everything that you need and use in your daily life is done by AI and androids. And even the things you like to watch and get entertainment by is done by AI and androids. So in the racing scene, it's the same thing. It's a very popular sport. I know in America, you know, it's not the biggest. It's not the biggest sport, but I feel like worldwide racing is a big sport. And I think in the future, if this ever happens, where androids are actually this difficult and competent, it will be a bigger sport. So that's what happens in the future. Androids are the best racers, so much so that humans can't compete. And then at some point, our main character kind of gets convinced through a few different scenarios and we'll just say a crazy mentor that he actually can win. So he's the first human in decades to try.
Wow, awesome. Yeah, amazing. So
yeah, this is all spawned from a lot of F-Zero, if you've ever played that game.
I played that game, yes.
Yeah, it's great, right? Did you play the one on Super Nintendo, Dave?
I think so, yeah. And later on, I moved on to Wipeout.
Okay, yeah.
Those kind of games, yeah.
There's one recently that kind of relates. It's called Fast RMX. I have it on Nintendo Switch. And it's pretty much, since they don't make F-Zero anymore, it's pretty much an F-Zero clone, but with good graphics, and it's got a good gimmick. But yeah, great stuff. It's exactly what I like to see.
Yeah. So these roads, this is the sky. Are these clouds? What?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing in this book. You'll see when you read it, but what you're actually looking at is a commercial. This is a commercial for a driving team. So it's kind of like it's visually appealing in a fake way. So it's meant to look surreal. You know what I mean?
Right.
To actively, you know, pull people into the commercial. But yeah, that's your answer. It's like I just thought it looked the most when I did those color choices. I thought it looked incredible. So I like the feel. Yep.
Yeah. Awesome. Oh, here you see he's not human, right?
Yep.
So it's the reveal. He's not human.
It transitions into, you know, like the dialogue of the ad, if you will, the advertisement.
Right. Yeah. Great stuff, man. These Blade Runner-esque settings.
Yeah, big inspirations there, obviously, and you know, Cyberpunk's not really complete without kind of the slums. You know, Riders in the Sky, is that a reference to something, Dojo? I'm not sure.
I don't know. I don't know either.
Interesting.
So
Yeah, this is the
these
slums. Yeah.
are the slums. Okay, yeah, right. A lot of slim panels stacked. This I'm just checking the layout, man. With the speed, you obviously when you have your own script, you already know when you write, you already know
I
how you want to visualize it.
Yeah, I pretty much start with sketches before writing. I know it
Oh,
pretty much like my own Marvel method, where I know what's happening. I just break it down sketch wise and then work from there.
oh, really? So while you're writing the script, you sketch, and the script follows from
It's
that.
it's a little bit of both. Sometimes, like, all depends on how distinct the image is in my mind. Some just don't call for it, but sometimes the story springs from the sketch. So I'll know, all right, this guy's going to start a race. Maybe I draw something in the sketch that cues something in the race that I normally wouldn't have thought about. So it's worthwhile to do the sketch too.
Right. Jojo Kun says the roads in the ad look like they're in the sky, and it made me think of Riders on the Storm. Ah, okay, we get it. Yeah,
Nice.
that's the theme that came to mind.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so Riders in the Sky, you're right. I do like how it works there. I wanted it to be like a chrome kind of reflective kind of road and reflecting the sky. That's what I was going for.
Yeah, this is nice with all the. You can follow the action, how we, even the route. So, do you even design the roads, or is
It's good dude. You're asking all the right questions, Dave, because I feel like all these are answered in the supplemental book, which is layouts and design. So I don't specifically talk about it in words in the book, but the way I work is, and a lot of times, especially for racing and stuff, I'll map out the road, I'll map out the track, or if it's a chase scene, I'll map out where it goes. In this case, I literally drew an isometric view of the city. I built these cities like circuit boards. That was my first idea. I was like, I'll take a circuit board and then I'll extrude these buildings from the circuit board, and that'll be the layout of the city. And then, yeah, once I map it out, then I'm able to draw it way easier.
right? Yeah, man.
So here, like, you can notice like this arc that you're looking at there.
These details. Yeah.
That little arc thing, it's the slums, so a lot of the things don't get repaired. So that's like a fallen walkway that just they left, and people kind of live around it.
Right. Yeah. 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 Let me see. Next page. Oh, so much cool stuff to see. Yeah.
This is one of those examples where like this page is like way better when you read it, even though it was cool without it, but it just informs everything.
Yeah, this is very cinematic too. When you watch on anime, you see these close-ups of these things that people do speed up.
Right.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do in comics is little inset panels that like read. I've always read, from people that talk about how to make comics anyway. The inset is the quickest transition. So if there's an inset panel on a full bleed image, it means that it's almost simultaneous, like as far as time.
That's right. Yes.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
you don't even have to explain the reader. They just get that. It's
Yeah.
It's fantastic. Yeah. Okay. So what is this? 3D
So
print.
this is my favorite character of the book. It's the main bike is the first thing I figured out. Once I knew it was going to be motorcycles, and I didn't know that going into it, but I ended up really liking MotoGP, which is really big around the world. Not so much in America. There's one race here, but it's the premier racing league for motorcycles. And I took the design of the bike from a lot of their bikes and then just made it more sci-fi in the ways that I thought would be coolest.
Yeah.
So mostly it's held together by kind of magnetic gravity kind of, we'll say gravity magnets. I call them grav discs. So the back wheel's head held together by like a couple pretty much magnets that are able to float. And a lot of the propulsion of the bike is done by a lot of this kind of anti-gravity. It's not really burning fuel.
Yeah, yeah. Man, it's fantastic. So people can actually get this. Backers can
Yeah,
get
that's a
this.
3D print that I have. I have the small version here, right here. My buddy Jeremy painted this one. This is the small version. The real one you'll buy is like double the size.
Oh, wow.
So it's huge. And yeah, shipping them everywhere, and they're really cheap. I'm actually, as I'm doing the fulfillment, I'm like realizing I'm losing money as I go here because it's definitely harder to ship than I thought it'd be. You
Yes,
gotta pad it. You gotta pad it so much that way it doesn't break, and the extra padding adds to the shipping exponentially.
yes.
So
Yeah,
I would
man.
say jump on it now if you want one because it will be probably the first to be pulled from the in demand.
Yeah, yeah. This won't soon be repeated for the
Right.
next
Yeah.
campaigns.
It'll be pulled. Probably, if you're interested in this, I would say pull it or grab one before the holiday.
Right, right. Oh, this is the dimensions. Yeah, yeah.
Uh huh.
Okay, awesome, man. Great. So some stretch goals we have here. Postcards you get prints. Um, you get what's this? Extra style pages.
So yeah, we're just making sure that people know it's not extra story. Yeah.
Right. Wait. Dojo Kun says this is also done in the movies. An example would be the quick switch to the feet of Jason Statham changing gears in Hobbs and Shaw. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say the smaller one is also available?
The smaller one is not. Though in the future we probably will have variations because in the future everything will be up in price. Right now it's only $60 plus the shipping, but that'll easily be double for the same thing, and the smaller one will probably be 60 instead. And but yeah, the smaller one is not available. Sorry, Dojo.
Okay. A, a kanji patch? What's that? What's a kanji patch?
Kanji is kanji is like the lettering in Japanese, right? Well,
Oh,
technically,
this? Right.
yeah,
Okay.
it's more Chinese, but this is the how you would. Well, I looked a few different ways how you would write it in an Eastern kanji way, in Japan or the like.
Mhm.
And this one actually, yeah, it will actually read Star Circuit in there. So,
Okay, cool. And
but yeah,
this one.
were you asking what the patch was? It's like a fabric.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I know the patch part, but the kanji
Okay,
part was new to me.
cool.
Yeah.
Just to make
Um,
sure. Yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thank you. And then you have this print also. So basically, you unlocked all the stretch goals you had planned.
Yeah, and more. I didn't add more because I clearly didn't think it was gonna take off so well,
Yeah,
as
yeah.
well as it did. I thought it would be,
This the postcard
yeah. I always
print.
thought it would be doing well, but man, the trading card is actually something you can't get. I always put the little parentheses there. That's only for the people who signed up early. You got that as a bonus,
Right, early bird.
and it's actually a metal trading card. It's incredible looking.
Oh wow, look at this.
That's
It's beautiful.
yeah, that shot is the poster you get with the essentials. That's the thing that's shipping out Monday. It's actually
It's a
the biggest
poster.
pain.
It's a mini poster, print or
It's a big
large.
poster. It's yeah, it's large. Behind me is this is like a 17-inch kind of. This is 17 inches. The poster's like this, so
Wow.
it's a good size upgrade. But it's very thin. It's like a banner. So,
Yeah.
yep.
Well, you made several things that are really difficult to ship.
Yeah, I did so well at the same time. I was naive with a lot of these extras. So
Right, right. In Japanese, it's romanji. Romanji.
yeah, I
Romanji.
think that's a
Romanji?
joke, right?
Okay. Layouts are nice. Some extra stuff.
The extra stuff, huh?
T-shirt
And if you get the
design.
Apex backer, that's the biggest tier. You get the T-shirt, but that's the logo.
All right. Nice. You also designed the logo yourself.
I did. I did. So,
Nice.
thank you.
Character names.
Yeah, names and a little bit of a. This is one of the first things I put out to really. It was mostly for me because I wanted to. I didn't think I was going to show people this, but it gave me the archetype, of what I was going for each character.
Right.
And in saying it in not like a traditional way, the narcissist is really I don't know. He's somewhat of like a combination of archetypes, but to me, the main character, he's a guy that's going through his character arc is going from being somewhat selfish to selfless. So, and how does someone go about being having that change happen? Pretty much.
Yes. Dojo Kun. We get some lessons from Dojo Kun today. Romanji is the
Nice.
romanization of the Japanese written language. Okay.
Okay. Interesting.
Yeah, but before you write anything, basically, you need to know your characters. Otherwise, you won't go anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, unless you want to swap out characters halfway through or something. Yeah,
Yeah.
you'll have problems.
Okay, nice.
But yeah, like you talked, it's
metric.
brothers. These are two brothers at the top, and then like they're completely different. One's a narcissist. One's like, more, kind of too much of like a friend. Like he's very loyal to a fault. To his detriment.
All right.
Yeah. And then
Okay,
yeah.
Mino. Those names also: Atlas, Mino, Hip Terran. So
Yeah.
how do you come up with these names?
Well, these names really came from I don't know if you know the book Neuromancer, but it's like it's what's kind of one of the books that started cyberpunk. Is written by Gibson. Is one of his first book of his little series. But in that book, all of his characters have like this really short, kind of catchy type name. The main character is called Case in that book, and I just like how it was like a physical object, but at the same time, it describes him. It's not really usual. It's pretty much this good mix of weird and relatable at the same time. So that's what I went with for some of these characters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hip Terran. Yeah. Adrenaline Junkie. Yeah. Nick DeRold, Sandra. Cool, man.
Yeah. Something that you can latch onto in each one of those.
Yeah. Nice.
But they all have actual good backing. I don't know if you're a writer, so you know, like, I don't know how you do it, but they're like Hip and Mino and even Atlas all come from mythology in some point, some form of the word. I made it shorter or rearranged letters, and it came back from Greek or Roman mythology. So,
Yeah. It doesn't sound too outlandish. It sounds like it could exist. Some add-ons. This is basically when you back something, you can add this on, right?
Yep.
And you can buy original pages.
Yeah, it's cool because I do it for the art, and I like people that want to have my art. So for this campaign, the art is really cheap. It's the cheapest you're gonna find something like this. Everyone tells me it should be double or something like that what you're gonna buy it for here. So if you want some of my art, it's the best way to do it right now.
Right. So, but I initially thought you drew digitally, but it's all traditional.
That's right. Yeah. So I have a problem with some of the things I've drawn are digital. Like the poster was drawn digitally, and I did that for a reason because I wanted it to be able to scale up pretty well. But for the pages, I don't have a great time drawing digitally as much as I do when I draw a pencil. I just feel it better when it works. It really works with the feel.
Do you also ink it, or do you go over this with the colors?
That's one of the things I really not pride myself on. It's just something I like. I like doing ink sometimes, but I like the effect of the pencil straight to color. So this is what we get for Star Circuit, and if you ever commission me, that's kind of the go-to that I like to run with is pencil work right to the color, and that way you can get the original if you want it.
Okay, cool. Let's run through your tiers quickly so people know what's for sale here. The essentials are let me see, the main cover plus What's this? Print.
Yeah, the layouts. So you get the layouts and design, which is the white book in the back. That's the supplemental. That's the one that's going to show you concept art. It's going to show you the design work, all the sketch work for the pages. Yeah, it's the side book.
Right. So 2 books plus the poster. All signed.
Everything's signed. Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Cool. That's the feature tier. Excellent. The digital. Yeah. Digital's
good to have for international, and to make it worth your while, I included both books.
You get 2 books. Yeah.
Yeah, 2 books for the price of 1. Yeah.
Great. And then the book itself, of course. Then you get the second cover of Canaan White. And let me see. These are the 2 books without the poster.
Yep.
The book twice with 2 different covers, and then issue 1 plus the poster. Yeah, you get every combination.
Yeah, I prefer it that way because next time I probably won't have a whole lot of add-ons available, maybe 1 or 2, because it just complicates every contribution.
Right.
Mainly because it's hard to configure it all together shipping-wise. I'm going to have probably Critical Blast or somebody else, maybe Secret Door, do my fulfillment next time, because I'd rather be creating Star Circuit right now instead of spending hours.
I know, man. That's you have your campaign done. You have your campaign done, and then the work starts because you have to package and ship everything. But yeah,
it's so hard. So in this case, you can get every combination, and then I can figure out shipping better.
You can buy the book here with a sketch card. Is that a set card or is it something like a commission or?
It's like a commission, yeah, like a little sketch card that a small drawing, an original. You can get some of my work for really cheap.
All right.
And what I've done, which with a lot of these cards, because I only drew what I needed to. The people that bought sketch cards have a chance to get the actual model sheet. So I've drawn, the front, side view, and the images that I'll actually use to draw the book. I've made into sketch cards. That way, people can actually own an official, model sheet.
Okay.
Which is pretty cool.
The Apex backer. This is like basically everything.
Yeah, it's everything plus the things you can only get with that tier, like the T-shirt. So it's awesome. Yeah, if you have a T-shirt and I see you and come up and say hello and you're wearing the T-shirt, I know that you were the super backer, and I wanted to know that clearly. So I appreciate you got those.
And finally, the original page.
So you get the book plus the page.
That's a good deal, man. 250. That's a good deal.
Yeah, it's a really good deal. I'd imagine that'd be a double price next time around. Just because it's almost like as an artist, it's almost like your 401k. You kind of got to hold on to those things because they're going to increase in value if you hold on to them.
That's right, man. So if you're watching, get on this now because the next campaign, they will be more expensive. All right.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Cheers to that.
Let's see if you had a little brink bump. You never know. Sometimes it happens.
Brink bumps, yeah.
It sometimes happens. Let me see. No, not today.
I got one in the morning, so maybe they knew from your post. I don't know.
Oh, right. Yeah. I'm totally claiming that one. Yeah. Okay. So that was Star Circuit. Before we wrap it up, I want to remind the chat that I have 2 new pre-launch pages up. One for American Bliss. So sign up for American Bliss. It's written by Michael Oden from the Embrace and drawn by Eric Hudson. And they basically took the character off my hands. Michael told me, I have this story. I want to tell it. So this is basically their thing, and it's gonna be awesome. And then we have Perfect 10 issue 3 pre-launch page is now up. So sign up, guys. You get a mystery print, And look at this. Look at this art. This is. You don't want to miss this, people. Get on this. And
Perfect 10-3.
finally, if there are still books from Genuine Comics that you're missing and you can't wait till the next campaign, then you can always go to genuinecomics.com, and this is my web store, and you can buy everything apart from the books that were in campaigns within the last year. So, but yeah, that's basically it. So,
Nice. I'm signing up for everything because by the way, I read issue 1 and 2 of Perfect 10. I got your standee up on my shelf. It's awesome.
Oh, awesome.
But yeah, I really enjoyed the book. I think it's like the most, it's like a really relatable and I guess you're just attached by the end of the 2, at least, to your characters. So
oh, thank you, man.
it's worked. I like it.
Chris Fisk said, I have bumped, but I backed this awesome book a while ago. It's the first time I saw it. Bam, backed instantly. Excellent. And Doja-kun also backed Star Circuit. I think I did also, but I need to check to make sure.
Yeah,
Anyway.
I think I shipped yours out, I believe, Dave.
Oh, you did?
I think so. I think I just shipped it. Either maybe it's in this bunch, or I think it was one that went out last week.
Ooh, excellent. Looking forward to it, man. Okay, Joe, thank you very much, man, for being my guest today. I really enjoyed talking to you and learning about your process. That was great. And
when are you launching your next book? When is the next launch?
I want to launch Perfect 10 number 3 in January.
Okay.
That's the goal. So I want to have as much done of the book as possible. So January.
Okay. And when you do have a day, let me know. We'll have you on our pros and we'll spread the word.
Oh wow. Yeah, excellent, man. Thank you.
Awesome.
Okay, so and special thanks to the chat for being here, for watching, for commenting, for sharing. If you like it, give it a thumbs up and tell everyone. And that's basically it. So
Nice.
I don't know when I'll be back. I think I need a little break from streaming. It's a busy time, but when I'm back. I'll let everyone know. So again, thank you and see you next time.
Thank you, everybody. Thanks, Dave.